Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Cornwall Channel Studios here out in Halland. This is our second podcast for Bodmin Chamber, so we welcome you here this afternoon. We're really excited to be here because Bodmin Town has been given a lot of money to have do an exploration, a consultation on revitalisation and reimagining our town centre. And I have two special guests with me today. First of all, I have Charles Campion, who is an architect and a partner of JTP, an architectural firm, and he'll be leading the consultation. And I also have Finn Irwin, who is the co-director of intoBodmin, which is a community interest company, a CIC. And where community actually in the organisation's name is really what the organisation is all about. Everything you do, Finn, and intoBodmin does is for the benefit of the community, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
So I want to welcome you all here to listen to our podcast, and I first of all want to go to Charles, because I said we're having a consultation on revitalisation and reimagining the high street, but actually, Charles, you call it a charrette. So what is a charrette?
Thank you. Yes, a charrette is a form of consultation, but it's happens over a longer period of time. It's a multi-day event. In the case of the Bodmin Town Centre Charrette, it's going to take place over 5 days, and it's a chance for the community to come together with the design team, with the professionals, to have a lot of time and space really to talk about the issues of the town centre, what people like, what people don't like, and how people would like to see it change into the future, because as we all know, town centres are in a process of change now, but within our hands really to decide how that should happen. So it's a process that happens. It's quite a fast, intensive process. It's very iterative. It has a lot of feedback loops, and as I say, it's local knowledge, local community, local business coming together with a design team to create a new vision.
That's brilliant, because it's perfect timing, I think, because we've all seen the state of our high streets, and we all feel very sad about how our town is looking. Finn, intoBodmin and all the work that you do you want to say a little bit about that? Because I know the community is at the heart of what you do.
It is, yeah. We've been doing work in Bodmin since 2018, and we kind of launched our organisation to bring people together and to find opportunities for people to come together through cultural activity predominantly. That's where it started. We, having grown up in Bodmin, I came back after 15 years and could see that there needed to be more opportunities for different people to meet and engage and to talk and be inspired by each other. And I couldn't see those opportunities that were that accessible. So we wanted to do more to do that, and we do that through our building, the old library, which is a community cafe, and turns into a venue in the evening. We have offices that people rent, co-working spaces.
You often put on theatre productions or little shows in the theatre, don't you?
We do, yeah. Theatre, music, open mic nights, quiz nights, all sorts of different things that happen in the evenings. We're building a community garden out the back. And then we do things around the town as well. So we have St Petros's sessions, which are big capacity music concerts in St Petros's Church.
They're very well attended, aren't they? You get up to what, nearly 400 or so people?
We've had yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the key thing though is about getting the community to engage.
Yes.
And that's quite a task, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And so I think this process that the Charrette's going to offer is going to be a different way in which people can engage, and people from right across our town, whether young, old, business, students, all sectors. The 5 days that you mentioned, but there is an event in March, is there not? That's 2 days, and that's the 2 days that the public take part. Do you want to say about that?
Well, the charrette is the whole 5 days, effectively, but the public workshop sessions come at the beginning of that, so the first 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, and it's the 17th and 18th of March.
That's right.
Is it? No, it's the 18th and 19th of March, sorry, the Friday and the Saturday. And then our team will, having worked with the community and businesses through those 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, we will then take that on for the next 3 days, analyse, summarise, work it up into a vision, and present that back on the Tuesday the 22nd in the evening, 22nd of March. So it's that sort of intensive 5-day process, which usually these things take a long time.
Yes.
And obviously what we're doing is creating a vision. It's a fairly high level thing. It's an impression. It's an illustrated piece of work that really represents the consensus we feel has come out from the process. So yeah, public days, first 2 days, team working.
18th and 19th of March.
18th and 19th of
And
March.
it's brilliant, I think, that it's kind of short and finished after that, because I think sometimes the problem with consultations, they go on and on, and then people don't get the feedback. Yeah. So it sounds very.
But it's also, we don't have anything at the start. We're not going to show people plans. Again, that's something that consultations often do, and it's then, some would argue, too late really to make any meaningful impact on the proposals. Whereas if you start with the community together and work up the proposals, work up the vision, then that brings in everyone's ideas. But not people debate, and things called feedback loops, where you think about an idea, you test it, and then create the draft, and then say, okay, that's good in that way, but there are other ways we can improve it, and it keeps on through the process. Really important in building consensus. And
it sounds like a good process, because it also sounds like that helps to manage expectations.
Yeah, because I think it's treating people like adults, really. It's everyone knows that we can't all have everything we want. Things can cost money. Not everything costs money. A lot of the things that Finn does don't cost money, because it's all about people giving their time and enthusiasm, and also just the relationships that are so important. And town centres, we believe, have a very important future, because that's what they're for. They're there where communities come together, and it's an obvious thing, but they've been undermined a lot in the recent past for various reasons. So it's really up to the community to come together again and say, right, this is important for us. A town like Bodmin, the town centre, we can all effectively walk to it if we choose. Mm-hmm. What's it going to be like in the future, and how are we going to, it's not just a physical thing either. Again, all the sorts of programming, the curation of the place, what sort of activities, events, festivals, etc. That's what makes communities strong and healthy and vibrant, and also what sort of prevents isolation, mental health issues, all of these things that we hear about on the news all the time. We actually have it in our own hands, really, to solve it in our own communities if we really want to.
If we really want to. And I think actually it's something you said once, I remember, and about the community being the heart of where you live.
Yeah.
And I think, and the other word that you used I like was together. So
we kind of built into Bodmin on a mantra, which is culture equals community equals pride equals growth, and growth being a kind of a economic but also a well-being growth. And culture are things that we do with each other and other people. It's not just about theatre and music. It's about going to a football match or going to church or coming together for a community consultation. That's kind of cultural activity. And in creating those opportunities, you then develop pockets of community. So hopefully through this Charrette process, people will come together and they'll have engaged in a conversation and have met some new people. And maybe it sparks an interest, or it sparks something that they want to be active against, or to support, or to help, or to change. And in doing that, more people get involved in their community. They take ownership of the town centre, of the town or the space that they live in, and that creates pride. And people are proud of it. I think that's a big thing that is lacking in Bodmin, is that kind of complete pride of the town, that it is absolutely the best it can be. Yeah. And when you've got that pride, people are going to be more likely to share each other's time and space and go and support local businesses and do all of those things.
Feel like they really belong.
Absolutely.
It's their community.
Absolutely. So opportunities like the Charrette or the theatre or the music or whatever we want to try and do, that's all about that initial spark to bring people together to try and kind of ignite that.
Right.
And I think that what we think, and I've done quite a lot of research into why Charrettes work. Part of it is that often we just talk about, we use words, we use numbers, but we are also going to be drawing, and actually we find that people can draw too.
And then once
they can, and by drawing you can actually start to plan and move things around and see what would happen if this went there or that went there. But also when we come back with the vision, that will be drawn even further, and people then, because often when people are talking, they're actually talking, it sounds like they're talking about the same thing, but they maybe have a different vision in their mind. Once you start to sort of draw something down, even though it's a vision initially and it might change, people then suddenly lock into something that's the same, and then you can move forward from there. So I think it's a very established way of working. It's still not that common everywhere, but I think more and more people realise that if you have a strong vision that you share, that's a really good stepping stone into the future.
I'm really excited about it, and Bodmin's been working on a shared vision anyway. We completed that a couple of years ago now, so I think we're in a good place now to start. So let's talk a little bit about the actual 2 days that the public can take care of. And I know you've been working with some people to make that an exciting event. Do you want to say a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, so we're utilising some of the Welcome Back funding, and that's going to help pay for the activity that will make it a more kind of fun festival type vibe out on Mount Folly, and building on the success that we had back in August of our Fun on the Folly events, which were free street theatre. We've got Uncle Taco's Flea Circus coming back, which is an incredible Victorian kind of sideshow, basically.
It was quite popular, wasn't it?
It was really popular, and Tony Liddington, who does it, is just a brilliant performer and entertainer, and he's got his fleas that he performs with in this little box, which is his circus. And then they've got a kind of a whack-a-mole type thing, which will be there that people can come and have a go on as well throughout the day. So there'll be 2 performances of that, and then we've got some other incidental kind of walkabout theatre, hopefully a poetry jukebox where you can go and choose poems that are then read out loud by the performers, and some other walkabout theatre, and maybe some dance performances as well.
So there'll be lots going on. Do we know what time it will start, or is it too early?
Well, the first show from Tony will be at 10:30, and then the Charrette on the Saturday, the 19th, and then the Charrette starts at 11.
Yeah, and the Charrette will start, as I said, not the 17th, but the 18th, Friday 18th in the afternoon around, well, people can arrive from 1:45, and we'll get going at 2. There'll be an exhibition there all the time, so people don't have to feel they have to participate in a workshop. They're not going to get locked in a room and, you've got to get on with this for an hour or something. If you just want to pop in, say something, look at the exhibition, talk to someone, that's absolutely fine. And then we will have a combination of walkabouts, workshop with post-it notes where we'll just discuss the town and people can write down, and we'll collect them in and read out and have a discussion about the different issues.
Is that going to take place outside?
No, this is inside the Shire Hall.
Okay.
And then from the post-it workshop, we'll go into what we call hands-on planning, where we'll sit down in smaller groups with facilitators, architects, urban designers, landscape architects, etc., to actually start looking at the layout of the town and how it could change, or what could go where, or what sort of initiatives we could sort of think about. We'll always get the community to report back the workshops, so it's not just us sort of representing, it's people talking in their own words, and really having a good solid discussion about things. On the Saturday, we'll then start again in the morning. Obviously Friday and Saturday people can come for different reasons. We can get schools involved, particularly on the Friday, people through part of their work. Anyone else wants to come on the Saturday, obviously generally people have a weekend day perhaps. So that's why we do it over the 2 days, but also it gives us time to think and time and space really. Sometimes people come to both days, but drop in for a short time or stay for the whole time. It's up to you.
So if you live in the Bodmin area, put that date in your diary, the 18th and 19th of March. And there is a launch, isn't there, on the 1st of March, and that's going to, from then on, there'll be lots of publicity about it.
Yeah, so but once the launch happens on the 1st, the publicity will be out. People might get something just before it, but the dates are not secret now. And we'll also then, when we start our sort of more intensive work, talking to different community groups, and we're going to schools and colleges, and we're going to the church, etc. So just starting to get more background information, but also encouraging people to to come as well.
And I know this evening you're going to be coming to the Westbury
That's
Hotel
right.
to meet and talk with the business community.
That's right.
So again, if you're a local business or a self-employed person or small micro business, do pop along and from 5:30 actually at the Westbury Hotel if you want a little snack first, and then you start the workshop at 6 o'clock. So that's really great. Do you want to say anything else that I've forgotten to ask you? What should they bring to the Charrette, the people, when they come?
Just your ideas, your open-mindedness perhaps. We want to talk about difficult issues perhaps, but also we want to be creative and think about the future. We often say we want to have our head in the clouds but our feet on the ground. Whatever we come up with, needs to be deliverable in the long term, but sometimes you need to raise your aspirations to get what you really want and what the town really needs. And there are some things that can happen quickly, other things will take longer. So part of the process is to sort of tease that out, explain it, think about what the next steps are, because a Charrette's no point having a Charrette if it doesn't have follow-on. So thinking about the post-Charrette phase, and obviously, Finn's doing loads of work, loads of people doing fantastic stuff in Bodmin already. So to some extent, it might sort of bring that together a little bit. And the projects that come out won't necessarily be built physical projects. They could be all sorts of things. And in my experience and where I live, one of the outcomes of the Charrette was that people thought more about their town centre and started actually coming back in and supporting it more for various reasons. So changing people's mindsets can be an aspiration, perhaps.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
I guess it's important just to say that this is a real opportunity, because we talk a lot amongst ourselves in the community about how we want Bodmin to be better, how we can the opportunities or the things that we could change slightly to make it different. And I think this next year is going to be a really exciting year for Bodmin, because you've got the Charrette, we've got other feasibility studies that are going to be happening in the town. There's other work happening. Yeah. And this is the start. And so if you want to see change in Bodmin and you want to be part of that change, then I think now's the time to kind of come and start that journey. And
I think as well to create a positive vision is very attractive. I mean, Cornwall Council, as you said at the start, are really investing in this process. The focus is on Bodmin, the town council, the town team, the Chamber of Commerce. There's a lot of focus on Bodmin,
making Bodmin
and
better.
This Charrette, and so this is a really important moment in time.
And as you say, we can't do it on our own. We need you to join in. Well, I want to thank you both very, very much for coming along, and also thanks to Cornwall Channel for having this amazing resource here that is just fantastic. This is our second podcast, so looking forward to the third. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.